Hey there YouTube, Heir of Carthage here. I'm gonna bring you my, what is this? Is this my second or third match? Third match, yeah, third match of the Gamerdudester commentary tournament. Sorry, I lost track of what was going on. My opponent is Alsonl, and I think on YouTube it's Alsonl. I'm not really sure how to say it. I think it's Alsonl. I will have a link to his channel in the description, and then as soon as I get a chance I will annotate it into the video as well. So right now, if I'm done annotating it, you should see that on your screen and you can click it. Please go check out his channel. I've watched some of his videos, and he does a good job, and I really think you should go check it out. Definitely worth your while. Another thing I've learned in my recent time on Total War games, I say recent time, I don't know, last year or so, is that I've grown a healthy respect for the Huntsman clan. They have some very skilled players, and so whenever I come into a match against them, then I definitely know to expect a player who's crafty, quick with their micromanagement, and that knows how to choose an army. So they're, like I said, they're definitely good players, and I know several members of their clan. I definitely don't know all of them, but I know several members, and like I said, I have a healthy respect for all of them. And just to let you know, this battle, I'm going to do my best to help you know what's going on. This battle is extraordinarily confusing. I'm going to go ahead and put it in slow motion so that we can see the armies. You can see that we're both playing as the Mori, which this was just a random pick, and it's nighttime with fog. So seeing what's going on is going to be a mess. The fog wasn't quite as bad as I thought it would be, though. So out here on my left flank, I have 3 units of bow cavalry. My army is actually really uninspired. It's just that since we were playing on the Sakura Ridge map, you have to bring, at least some sort of sword-heavy, cavalry-strong army. So I have 2 units of Yari Cav out here and 3 units of Katana Cav. I don't really need to zoom in on them. Up front in my army, I have 2 units of Nodachi Samurai with 3 chevrons each. And then just behind them, I have 5 units of Katana Samurai who have either 2 or 3 chevrons. I have 2 units of unupgraded Yari Ashigaru guarding my general, which in this case is Mori Motonari. So there he is. He's probably one of the crappiest historical generals, but I like bringing the historical generals just because of the slightly extra morale they offer. Now right off, I had to say, I didn't really hardly even get a chance to look at Almanaz's army during the battle. I was just like freaking out trying to get troops into the right spot, and my main goal here, my main strategy is to be the first on the hill. I've got to get the hill. I want to take the hill so that I can give my infantry the better fighting position, because to be honest, I've watched Almanaz play before, and some of his clanmates, and I just really think they're better players than me. And so the only way that you want to play to your strengths, and for me, my strength would not be trying to micromanage my army against Almanaz's army, or just hoping that my army build was a lot better, because I knew it wouldn't be, just because I know the quality of player that he is. So it's one of those things where I needed this hill in order to become a part of my strategy, and so that's why I ran my cavalry up here immediately, in order to slow his army down and make him think about continuing to charge forward and get him to stop. And that's what I was able to do, and that is going to buy me precious time to continue my charge across this flat area. So up front, Almanaz has 3 units of Yari Ashigaru. They're basically across the front line. He has 1 unit of Naginata Samurai. They're right here in the center. If I did have a lot of missiles, he would use those guys to soak up my missiles. He's got 2 units of light cavalry, which he uses extraordinarily skillfully, and he's got them back here behind his line, which is very interesting because he can use them to intercept, to stop charges and stuff like that. A very curious tactic. I've never seen it before, and he used it very well. Like just right here, his light cavalry slips through fast, and it's going to go after my bow cav, and there's nothing I can do about that. Okay, the rest of his army, I believe he has either 5 or 6 Katana Samurai, and then he's got 1 Nodachi, and then 2 Matchlock. And his Matchlocks are actually hanging around in the back, out towards the flank. So another very curious tactic on his part. Like I said, I've definitely learned to have a healthy respect for the Huntsman clan and their players, because they're definitely usually good at micro, and they have some crafty army builds. In any case here, I'm going to try and take some pot shots at this great guard that he has out there. Right now I can't actually see all of his cavalry. All that he has visible is the 2 light cav and that great guard. So anyway, you can see that my men are going to be able to end up getting the downhill charge, which is what I want. The only downside is my men are dog tired. I'm used to doing this kind of strategy with Patchy, and Patchy has the resistance to fatigue, basically. Oh, and some of you may be saying, hey, the huge screen here is in the way of the mini-map. Well, I have that up so that you can try and tell whose troops are whose, because the red outlined red is Alsonl, and mine is the barely visible yellow outlined red banners. So it's going to be extremely hard to tell who's who without this map up. And again, look at the extremely skillful use of his troops. Alsonl has put his Yari into a spear wall to absorb the charge of my men and to act as a first wave. He's even got his Naginata samurai up here, and these guys will last a little bit longer. And then he charges his light cavalry right up in here into my big blob of charging infantry, and that's also going to blunt their charge. So, like I said, extremely skillful job here on blunting the charge of my men, and then he's also firing matchlock up here into the fray, so you can see that this unit's morale is wavering, basically, or shaken, even though they only have one casualty. And so he's definitely doing a good play on morale here, and he's completely stopped my men, and you can see that in reserve he's holding all of his katana and all of his other sword units along with his matchlock. So again, very crafty tactic, but the only downside for him is that literally you can see this downhill disadvantage that his men are going to be fighting at. So his light cavalry mopped up my bow cav, and it's going to turn around here for some hammer and anvil work. Again, extremely crafty playing, and by this point I realized that I was undone on my flanks. I accidentally caught my Yari cav into his spear units, and then right here he sprung a trap on me with 2 more Yari cav. He is absolutely blasting me on micromanagement, and so it's a really good thing I took this hill, because that's the only thing going right for me so far in this battle. So right now I'm gonna post up with my spears here and protect my general, who is in the stand and fight, and just hope to goodness that I can kill his infantry before he collapses my flank. So I committed my bow cavalry to fighting his great guard over here just to hold them off, and I'm swooping in my katana cav to hold off this great guard as well. I'm not quite as worried about these Yari cav on this flank. I'm truly worried about his great guard units, because I know how powerful great guard is, and I know that they can sometimes just ignore your Yari Ashigaru and get to your general. So over here, I realize that I'm going to lose this fight. That's okay, I just want it to play out, and I want it to waste a little bit of time. Up the center, and sorry I'm not getting tons of close-up views, I'm going to shrink that down just a little. He's now committing his reserve katana troops, a very smart move. So he let my men get even more tired, so you can see that now most of them it says very tired, and then his men are fresh, or even active I guess, coming into this fight. The only problem is that again they're fighting an extreme hill disadvantage, but he does have these matchlock for morale busting on my own men. But the only problem is he's going to hit his own men just a little bit in the process. So there is a price to pay for it, but they really do have an excellent morale busting effect. And here he's taking his general, which is just the standard general, and he's going to put him into stand and fight as well. I didn't realize the regular general had stand and fight. There he is. So very smart move by Alsonl. He's just committed his fresh reinforcements. He's going to go into stand and fight. He is winning the fight on the flanks, and now he's going to hope to bust the morale of my troops, who are now extremely tired. But again, thankfully for me, working to my great advantage is this height differential, and it's the only thing saving my butt at the moment, because everywhere else I have been completely and totally outplayed, and there's really no hiding that. So here you can see that he completely collapsed this flank, and he's now free to take his Yari cavalry in after my general. So that's what he's doing. You can see that he's starting to pull them around. I know it's in slow motion, I just want you to catch most of the action on this battle. I guess I can go ahead and push play now, just to kind of show you what's going on here. So yeah, you can see the battle up in the front is actually starting to turn against Alsonl. His men's morale is starting to waver. I'm not really exactly sure the reason for that. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the reasoning behind that. My men did have superior upgrades, I noticed, in the infantry fight, so that could be part of the reasoning. My men had 2 or 3 chevrons each, so that might have been what happened. Here, he did a really excellent bypass of my spears, and he did hit Morimoto Nari. Thank goodness it was just a Yari cav unit and not a katana cav, or else Morimoto Nari would have almost certainly bit the dust right away. But I'm going to charge in my Yari Ashigaru to get rid of these guys and be able to save my general, just barely. But I will be able to save him. So there you can see some pretty cool fighting going on. I am actually doing worse on this flank, but I finally just busted through his center, so I'm able to commit reinforcements to my right flank. And then over here on my left flank, I do have his men finally about to break, but he has this great guard unit, another one that he had hidden, and he's going to skillfully pull them up and around here and try and do a hammer and anvil to save his men. And it's going to be hard to tell who's who, but let me get around here. Watch this brutal charge. He comes down and kills just dozens of my men. You can see him go flying all over the hill. That guy really got pitched. So if he had had a few more men left here, I'm pretty sure that would have broke my troops. But then I did bring my katana cavalry over here to try and hold him down, and then try and get my spears in that vicinity. At this point, though, he's lost his infantry. He did manage to get his general out, but now he's going to charge his general back up in one epic last stand kind of charge. Very honorable thing to do here, just because he realizes that the fight is nearly over. And again, Morimoto Nari gets charged. And somehow my crazy general manages to survive again. And again, I bring my spears back to try and bring down the enemy general before he can get my own. Because you never know how these kind of fights can get flipped at the last minute. Though at this point I have taken out his matchlock and his cavalry, so the general is the only unit left. So what a fight. There's his general actually right there in the midst of battle. We'll watch him. This is the general right here, the one I'm circling over. So you can watch him fight. I don't know if they end up getting him or not, but look how brave that dude is, standing there in the midst of all those Yari Ashigaru. I think he was like one of the last ones on the battlefield. Anyway, great game to Alsonl. You can really see that he's a very crafty player, very skilled player. Made a lot of excellent moves, and I mean, unless someone disagrees, which I don't know why you disagree. To be honest, the only reason Air won that was because I had the high ground, and because I took that high ground and was able to capture it, it ended up saving me in the end. Because you can see that Alsonl really outplayed me on the flanks. It's just that by the time he was able to get his flanks free, I had collapsed his center. So extremely good game to Alsonl. Like I said, go check out his channel. I'll splice in the results. Hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to see what the rest of the tournament has to hold for me. There's a lot of good players left in there. I'm just really looking forward to getting the opportunity to play him. I like getting to play other skilled players as much as I can because I get to learn from them. And I definitely think Alsonl is one of those people that you can learn from. Alright, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and splice in the results screen. Alright, so here's the results from that battle. That is, of course, if you could tell what in the world was going on. I know most of the way through the battle I was wondering what was going on, and I was like constantly clicking on units and trying to mouse over to see which unit was which because I just couldn't tell. So yeah, it was really crazy. But in any case, here's the statistics. You can see that my infantry really was the winner of that fight. Just me getting them into that position where they had that downhill advantage really helped me out. You can see that Alsonl did a great job of neutralizing my cavalry basically, and really neutralized it well. The only bad thing for him is that it kind of took a while for him to neutralize it, and it gave my infantry kind of all the time they needed to get the job done. But again, great game to Alsonl. Real stand-up character, very polite, very good player. Please take the time to check out his channel and check out his videos. I watched some of his videos. He's got some great stuff going on over there, and I think you would enjoy it. And the links will be, of course, back in the beginning of the video, or you can look down in the description. Should have either one. So I guess I'll go on to the next round of the tournament, and I look forward to whoever I play there. Yeah, I guess that's it. So this is Eric Carthage signing off for now.